Hey everyone, it's Rajiv and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving my book review of the classic thriller called The Stepford Wives by Ira Levin. Before I start talking about the book, I would like to say that I post book-related videos daily in my channel. So if you like this video, then please do hit that like and subscribe to show your support. So the story starts off where this woman named Joanna, her husband Walter, and their two children have just moved away from the busy life of the city where they used to live into this idyllic place called Stepford, where there is no crime rate and everyone looks beautiful and everything is just perfect. But when Joanna goes to meet the other women of the neighborhood to start socializing with them, they never seem to have any time for her because they are always busy with their housework, like all the time. And they are always dressed perfectly and look immaculate even when they are doing their housework, like they have just come out of a commercial for cleaning supplies. Joanna finally meets another friend who is more normal like her, whose name is Bobby. And Bobby and Joanna start to suspect that there is something not quite right with Stepford. Joanna also comes across this newspaper clipping from a few years ago where she sees some of the women that she knows in the neighborhood who used to be feminists and they used to be involved in their own women's association. How would someone who was so dynamic like that just become a robotic person who was just doing household chores all the time? Joanna and Bobby realize that there is some kind of conspiracy that is going in Stepford, and they need to realize what is actually happening and how to get away from it before they are the next ones to be transformed. Before I start talking about my review, I would like to say that there are going to be possible spoilers because I am going to talk about the things which I liked and disliked. I loved reading this book and was in the edge of my seat the whole time. This is one of those stories that's really not horror, like it does not contain any gore, but it is so creepy in a psychological level that it sticks on to you even after you have finished reading the book. Right from the first page, when Joanna interacts with the welcome wagon lady, you immediately get a sense that there is something quite off from this perfect setting. Everything in the town is just a little too perfect to be normal, and everyone are just too prim and proper. Joanna was a complex character and so interesting to read. On one hand, you know that she is this feminist and she does not want anyone controlling her life and she wants to pursue her career as a photographer. But on the other hand, you also see Joanna as this wife who always wants reassurance from her husband Walter to make sure that he still loves her, and she needs to have that acceptance from him. I really loved reading the dynamic of Joanna's character, and it's so interesting to see how on the outside, when everything might look so perfect, but in the relationship there might be so many complexities that you are not aware of and that you just don't see. And you know there is something wrong when they don't openly communicate their problems with one another. What's also a little scary is that Walter is supposed to be this supporter of women's rights, but when he joins the men's association, he gets completely brainwashed into thinking that that is something that's bad and he should follow the norms of the community. I felt so bad for Joanna, especially when she finds out what has happened to Bobby. Bobby was Joanna's only true friend in Stepford and her only pillar of support. So you can see the warning signs going off in Joanna's mind when she sees the drastic change of Bobby when she comes back from her weekend getaway. As you continue reading the book, you feel like Joanna is losing on the battle because everyone just seems to be against her. There is a scene where Joanna interacts with Bobby's son after Bobby has been transformed to ask him if he has noticed any change in his mother. And he responds by saying that, yeah, she doesn't yell at him that much and she makes better food for breakfast these days, and he hopes that she stays that way. Then Walter, Joanna's husband, starts to put seeds of doubt in Joanna's mind when he tells her to go see a psychiatrist or go get therapy done because he wants to make sure that she starts doubting herself and what she believes in. So I was completely intrigued reading this book because at one hand, I really want Joanna to escape from Stepford and, catch the culprits and get to the bottom of whatever is going on. But on the other hand, you really don't know what is happening with the transformation. And If everyone in society wants you to become better, is it really worth going after a losing cause and opposing all of them, or to just get along with them? This book was originally released in 1972 when the women's liberation movement was very strong in the Western countries. And I think this book is an interesting satire for the irrational hatred that a few men would have had over these newly liberated women. However, I think this book holds good even today because I think there is still a lot of sexism and inequality between the genders that's happening today. And I'm sure that there would be some men who would still prefer to have wives like the Stepford Wives rather than having a woman thinking for her own and being ambitious and being treated as an equal. This book was so popular when it released that the term Stepford has actually become a word in the English vocabulary to describe a submissive housewife. Overall, I really loved reading this book. The language is very simple and it's very easy to read, and it's less than 200 pages and it's a complete page turner. I would give this book a complete 5 out of 5 stars, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants to read a nice short psychological thriller. If you have read the book or you have watched the movie adaptations of the book, then please let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the section below. Again, if you enjoyed watching this video, then please do share that like, and until next time, bye.